My granddad bought this farm in 1927. My dad was raised here, and then we took it over in 2006. This is our propagation greenhouse. We grow everything from seed.
Alice Evans from Union, Missouri is the third generation of her family to own and operate Iron Hill Farm. It's what's known as a mixed traditional farm. Evans and her husband grow a variety of vegetables, milk a small herd of Jersey dairy cows, as well as raise mixed breed beef cattle, all on 60 acres. The Evans daughter Maggie, who also lives on the farm, grows flowers, which she sells alongside her mom's vegetables at farmers markets. Back in the day when the family's previous generations were running things, Alice Evans says the food supply chain was structured differently, especially when it came to livestock.
Back in my granddad's day, and in my dad's day too, there was a stockyard in East St. Louis. And so if you were raising cattle or hogs and you were ready to sell the feeder steers or you're ready to sell the hogs, you could get a truck, go over to East St. Louis, sell them, and the next day you had a check in the bank. And those markets no longer exist for small family farms like ourselves. So we had to really reimagine what could the farm produce that we would be able to get directly in the hands of people who wanted the food, because those markets that were there for my dad and granddad aren't there anymore.
And the markets that exist today were disrupted after the novel coronavirus appeared in the United States. It just so happened that Iron Hill Farm could adjust.
We do sell a lot of things on the farm too, especially this year with COVID-19, especially before we knew that the farmers markets would even reopen. We had a lot of our customers who were eager to come out here and buy things on the farm. So we just have set up appointments and people make orders on the internet and come out and pick up what they're wanting from us.
Looking out for farmers' best interests is the mission of the Missouri Farm Bureau.
I think that the supply chain disruptions that we have seen in all of agriculture, especially in livestock and dairy and fruits and vegetables, is going to make us stop and look at our food supply system and the supply chains with that. The reason being our current supply chain is basically just-in-time delivery, all the way from once it leaves the farmer's hand through the processing channels on into distribution channels and on into grocery stores and or restaurants, institutions, hospitals, schools, and so forth. So we have been accustomed to being able to have just-in-time delivery of any kind of food when we want it. And the disruptions that we have had have changed that.
For consumers who want their produce local, preferably organic, and can afford it, there's the option of purchasing a subscription for CSA boxes. CSA meaning Community Supported Agriculture. These CSA boxes are being filled with goods from regional vendors affiliated with Tower Grove Farmers Market. The middleman is the company Eat Here St. Louis. It shifted gears when the core of its customer base, restaurants, reduced or ceased operations due to COVID-19.
Logistics-wise, this is just much more complicated. You know, there's a lot more stops, there's a lot more different items going out, and home delivery is very different. There's a lot of complications that we don't have with restaurants where, calling someone on call boxes to come down in an apartment building and meet you, things that I just really didn't anticipate. We're just figuring it out on the fly, but we've got some software that helps us plan our the actual delivery routes, which has been very helpful. We were also very lucky to have delivery vehicles. We've talked to several different customers that they've said that they want this to continue. We have seen a lot of demand for consumers that are buying, a half of a hog or a whole beef, and they're splitting it with their family. And I mean, where I grew up, that happens all the time, but you don't hear many people in the city saying, "Oh, I'm going to buy a whole calf from some local farm," and I think that's changed a lot.
Some CSA subscribers are expected to return to shopping at the farmers market in person when they feel it's safe for themselves and their families to do so. Andy Struckoff of Kirkwood once lived near Tower Grove Park and has shopped at the market since its inception.
The important thing, I think, for everyone to remember is that there's still a lot of local farms and local producers producing a lot of really great, high-quality food for everybody to eat, and the farmers market is a great source to get that from.
And that's music to the ears of farmers like the Evans. They were among the first to return to Tower Grove Farmers Market when its 2020 season opened in May. Many food purchasing decisions are based strictly on price and availability. But pandemics afford an opportunity for consumers to better appreciate where their food comes from and how it reaches them.
I think that we will still always have a national supply system, so to speak, but I think we'll stop and take a hard look at local and regional food supply systems. There is room for all of them. One type of food system cannot feed everybody in the United States.
For Living St. Louis, I'm Ruth Ezell.